I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and this is the commode in the Baymont Inn, in the room I'm paying for. I've got YouTube and Facebook, and I don't put much of this on Facebook, this part of it, or I haven't recently anyway. It doesn't do any good. I'm putting this up because for I have an autoimmune disorder. When I'm around toxic fumes, it makes my immune system attack itself. Over the years, I was only diagnosed, I have been misdiagnosed in the past. I found out about my kidnapping, and this is all, I've put it all up on YouTube and Facebook. Um, Let me say this because I'm not feeling good. The inflammation that's caused by force feeding me, that's what has been done. It's deliberate, it's orchestrated. And when you see that, I'm babbling to some people, I'm trying to put a lot together in a video. This has been ongoing. I was kidnapped in 41 at age 2 and brought over here to Moulton, Alabama. And given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann, I married, her name was Dempsey. I married Childers, but they gave me her name and took mine. The other twin, Carl, was killed a month after birth. They were born out of wedlock. Now, she lived till about 2 weeks or 1 week before they kidnapped and brought me to Moulton and put me in her place. So this was planned. JFK was a part of it, the Illuminati. And I'm going to turn around and go in here. It's already, this has been going on now for 2 weeks, this part of it, moving me across the hall or making me move. And then the hell is over there that you can't, they run me with fumes. And I had a state trooper, Carl Barton, retired now. Him and his wife brought me down from off the mountain. They've since closed that national park up there, or yeah, National Park Service did. But I would go up there when things got so bad for me because it really, it's like force feeding peanut butter to someone allergic to peanut butter. Only this affects me in a lot of different ways. In other words, my immune system has been, autoimmune system, the illness has been made to murder me over time. And then they can call you nuts. They can call you all this. So I think this is why I was doing the book before I found out about my kidnapping. But I remembered when I was told about my kidnapping, I could remember a lot about being brought there to Moulton, Alabama, and the hell that was done to me. But I'm trying to put this up because this is ongoing harassment. People should be locked up. They should be put away for good. They talk about, I'm going to give an example. I'm Margaret Ann Windsor. I'm Queen Victoria II, daughter of King Edward VIII, who was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor from Madison, Wisconsin, sister to Georgia O'Keefe. Now then, history has been changed. The Illuminati, my father would not follow their orders, so they took him out. They took a king out. They assassinated his character. Wallace Simpson married an imposter. There were 2 or 3 imposters pretending to be my father, and that's the way history has had it. When I was born in 1939, my father had made papers that were legal, that if he had an heir, the heir would inherit. The minute I was born, these were legal. I'm Victoria II, the real monarch. Then my sons, Mark and Scott, who've been through hell, and I hope they're alive. So Elizabeth's always known it. Her father's illegal, George VI. The Illuminati installed him because he took orders and loved them. And recently there was a 300 a list of 300 of the top Illuminati. You're talking about the global government that's in place now, that came to be in part, a big part, because they took my dad down. He wouldn't let the treaties go on and let us be invaded, which we were. And this led to the Jews going back to Jerusalem, Israel, and the United Nations being formed. I've put all this up. I'm not going through it again because I feel really bad. My rent's paid here till Friday. Whether or not I'm able to stay here and not be carried out on a slab is another question. I'm just going to cut to the chase here. I ran in a campaign. I was writing about mind control murders, Tesla files that were stolen. And it gets into the Virginia Tech, the mass shootings. You can mass all of it. Knives, people run out and meet in a place. And they did that recently in Australia. So you can use your cars. They program people, and quite frankly, people don't want to know. But it's the end times. I did not say that. I didn't connect it. I had no idea that my kidnapping, takedown of my father, and all this, and allowing the whole thing was to take down the British Empire. By doing so, they could take over everything, and they did. It's the United Nations. It's your front for the Illuminati, your global government mentioned in the Bible. Mark of the Beast, chipping people. Only they didn't tell what I was telling in the Bible. Well, they did in a way. They just didn't. I was telling, I had worked for doctors, and I knew they were putting them in root canals and heart bypasses, and they teach you the Morse code at a low level, and program people without their knowledge, which is the biggest civil rights violation you can think of. And Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing the book. And that was a program shooter, just like George Wallace, Alabama, and it's the schools, and Sandy Hook was a program shooter. Parkland in Florida. So, you can take a plane down like the KAL that was taken down with Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, on it, that I was writing about when I got the book about. He was from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, and a U.S. Congressman. Now, they took him down. They almost killed me in between here. I had a letter from the FBI and all that. Now then, it's been hell. Now then, Larry Flynn, I'd never met him. I knew it was a program shooter that shot him. He flew me out there in that campaign to replace Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, and it's a question of whether he was really on that plane with 290-something passengers where they went down or not. Or it was just made to appear that way. But Richard Nixon, former president, was on the plane, and just prior to takeoff, they took him off. So they knew it was going down. Now, going back to what's happened to me, I can't go into all that. It's hell every step of the way and illegal. I don't know what to say anymore. Larry Flint, in April of 84, he is after I was out there in the campaign in October twice of 83. He did an endorsement of me, an editorial in Hustler, and said I knew who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia in 78. Now then, he said some other things that I thought were nice, and I think that furnishing me that helped in a way to bring attention to it, although it hasn't seemed to help me at all. I'm going to cut to the chase and to this part. When I came here in 86, and by the way, I want to say my mom and dad were still married to each other and alive when I came here October the 20th of 86. I hope my sons are still alive. I've lived on the Appalachian Trail, starved, frozen, because people were told not to help me. it is quite odd how I'm treated. Odd isn't the word. Uh, One of the things I was telling about, and I didn't know it was leading up to anything about end times and I put a lot of this up. A minister here sent someone up on the trail with a book called Project Lucid by Tex Mars, and he told him to tell me this is what I had been telling about. Well, I've put one sheet up in there out of the book. I couldn't carry stuff. I was on the trail, and I took that page out about Timothy McVeigh, saying that the U.S. Army put a chip up his buttocks. Well, I'd already told about that. I didn't know he made the statement, but I knew he was programmed because these were done in patterns that I've told about. Now, everyone should be concerned that your military probably has a chip up a bunch of them. It's so widespread now, they put them at chip babies when they're born. They just don't ask your permission to. Anyway, Timothy McVeigh went on, he was programmed to, in Oklahoma City bombing the Murray Federal Building. He was found guilty of that and put to death, just like Scott Peterson will be put to death if the truth isn't told, and a lot of others. But then I wonder, it's never going to be told. The press is controlled by your Illuminati. Now, I'm sitting here, and I'm not going to go back in the past, but since I've been here in '86, I have been run when I could get a couple of live-ins. I was shut down from any help at all. And when I did get money, I was able to stay in motels, cheap motels, and then I should be able to get HUD. And when I did, you're talking about the federal government is doing this to me. And who do you think's doing the programming the shooters and the murders? I mean, there's politicians that have been murdered, taking down planes. The pilot can be programmed to fly 10 miles into Russian air, and the Russians shoot it down. It's in their space. That's how the KAO was shot down with Larry Flint, with Larry McDonald on it, supposedly. And Larry Flint helped me in the campaign to replace him. Now, I'd written about him in the book, and I had all kinds of consequences. And people hate me. I'm the one that's treated like what's in the commode in there, to put it bluntly. Now then, it's not just the commode. This leads into all other stuff. They call it Murphy's Law. I don't care who told them to do it. The United States government is the one that is responsible for the programming and for my kidnapping and what's been done to me and my children. And a lot of people here, hey, look at, if you only knew, you probably, one FBI agent pretended he was yawning and bored. He was talking to him in Atlanta. And he said, you know, you bore them with what you're saying. He said, it's only when they find out that how it affects them that they care. Well, they don't care about me. But anyway, I'm sitting here, and harassment, this is not just harassment, this is my health that they've killed me with, because over time it makes the inflammation attack your lungs, kidneys, my heart. I already found out I have a heart arrhythmia now, and I don't know what else. But then I've had little spots cut off here that could be cancerous, and they cut them, burn them off. But I'm leaving out a lot because I want to get to this. And people tend to just, I've been told that, well, we believe you, but we just, we're not going to do anything. We don't care. I've been really told that so many times. The law broken against me. All this is illegal. Anyway, this is just a part of it here. I move from room to room when I get a motel room. The fumes are deliberately put in, and you can do it by merely, there's a lot of ways. Just ask yourself. You can put something under on the carpet and that's bad, and it will come up and pour out when I turn the air heat on and get so sick. But there's different ways, but this has gone beyond anybody's belief, and most people don't care, bluntly. I know there's some on YouTube and Facebook, a few that care, but basically they don't want to get involved. They're comfortable, they're living good, so to hell with me. Um, Now, I'm just going to go to where I'm at now. Some people have gotten wealthy off of me, very wealthy, very, very wealthy, and it's illegal. Over the years, I've run from one motel to another to HUD. Same thing happens there. I was even told over at Joseph Stream in Bedford, she still got her job in retirement, they all do. She said that they can turn it on from the desk, so my whereabouts is prepared. How I get there, you can assume what's going on with me, done to me, and run from place to place. And it makes it look like, if you don't know the background, that, hey,